welcome to the Messy Makeup Mama channel. I am so glad that you're here and I hope you stick around till the end because this video is bomb if I do say so myself. And if you're coming back to my channel, hey, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Now today's topic, we are gonna be covering how to create a beautiful natural smoky eye using 4 eyeshadow shades. Now, I'm also gonna be covering how to choose these 4 eyeshadow shades, and it's super easy. Here's what you're gonna wanna do. You're gonna first wanna choose a highlighting shade, then you're gonna wanna choose a lid shade. Now, in this video, I kinda swap these two and you can kinda go back and forth. I use this on my lid and then this all over my lid to start out with. So basically, I just chose a matte shade and a shimmery shade. A shimmery shade to go back and forth between my lid and my highlighting. Then you're gonna wanna choose a transition shade. And this is gonna be in between your lightest shade and your darkest shade. And then last but definitely not least, you're gonna wanna choose your outer corner shade. And this is gonna be your darkest shade. Now I wanted to make this really simple and only use 2 brushes, but I ended up using 3. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. So I used you're gonna need a blending brush, a deluxe brush, and a liner brush, okay? Now in the video I said we're only using 2, but then later on I'm like, oh shoot, we're actually using 3, so bear with me, y'all. The other eye tools we're gonna be using is a primer, a pencil liner in black, and mascara. You gotta have mascara. All right, without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with eye primer. Always start with eye primer. Eye primer creates that barrier between your eyeshadow and your eyelid, and it's gonna help the color stick better, and so you're not gonna have to use as much eyeshadow to get the look that you need. So I am just patting this all over my lid. I like to take my primer up to my brows too because I will be doing my brows later. And I like to do my eyeshadow first, and the reason being is because I would like to create that really sharp V, and the easiest way for me to do it is to do my foundation afterwards and just go over whatever mess I made, okay? So, here is the beautiful eyeshadow palette. I'm still learning where to put the palette because I want to put like it in the viewfinder, but it's like right here first. Struggles of recording. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna be taking my blending brush and I'm gonna be taking the first shade, and this is the shade Timid, and it's a perfect all over shade. So when you're choosing your shades, you wanna make sure that you have a highlighting slash, I like to use it as all over my lid because it's more of a neutral shade. And then you're gonna want a transition shade, an outer corner shade, and then a lid shade. So I'm using my highlighting shade because it is matte for all over my lid. So you can kind of play around with it. If you do have a matte shade that's more neutral, go ahead and put this all over your lid. You don't, you can skip this step if you want and just go into your transition shade. But I personally really love to put a natural matte shade all over my lid. So I am using my blending brush for this. And I just think it helps create that nice even layer to create a perfect canvas for the rest of our eyeshadow. So once you have that all over your lid, you're gonna take your transition shade, and I'm taking the shade Nimble. Sorry y'all, you gotta bear with me, I'm still figuring this out. I'm taking the shade Nimble. And again, I'm going to take my blending brush and this is my transition shade. So I'm gonna be keeping this shade in my outer corner and then a little bit above my crease, depending if you have a hooded lid. Now, if you have a hooded lid, you have to go above your crease. You're not gonna see your eyeshadow otherwise. So I'm gonna be taking this in my outer corner here, and then I'm going to blend it a little bit above. There we go, you guys can see what I'm doing. A little bit above my crease. Now here's the deal. You really wanna make sure you are a little gently blending back and forth windshield wiper motions because we want that really nice, natural look today. And I'm going even lighter handed towards my inner corner. Now I'm holding my blending brush further down the stick, and this is because it's going to help have more of a feathering effect with the brush, and it's gonna really help give you that really beautiful blended look. And take your time to build. I am patting off the excess off of my brush every time I dip back into that color. And the key is to blend and build to the desired depth that you want. So if you want it to be really natural, you can just keep it there. If you want it to be smoky, go ahead and keep building to the desired depth. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side now. Okay, so I finished the other side, and they're even. You want to make sure they're even. And I also just want to point out that I am keeping this lid area free from the transition shade, okay? I am keeping that transition shade in my outer corner and into my crease and above my crease. Now, even if you have a hooded lid, you do want to take that color above your crease, but still make sure to pop it in your crease. That's gonna create even more definition and just going with your natural eye shape as well. Now, if you don't have a hooded lid, this transition shade you're just putting it in your crease. You don't need to put it above your lid, or no, above your crease, I mean. So as you can see, I have more of a hooded lid, so that means that I have a fold over my eyelid. I have to put color above, otherwise nobody would see it. And now we're gonna take the deluxe brush for our outer corner shade. So I'm gonna be taking this really beautiful, darker chocolatey color in the shade Gullible. And I'm gonna be keeping this in my outer corner, and this is really gonna smoke out this eyeshadow look. So I'm gonna pat this into my outer V. So you wanna keep it, you can think of it as an outer V, a backwards 7. I don't know, for me, it helps to think of it as a backwards 7. Make sure to tap off the excess. It's always better to add more color versus adding too much color and then trying to take away from it, okay? So I'm gonna pop this into my outer V and a little bit into my transition crease area. Now, I like to use my deluxe brush for this to just pack that color in a little bit more, but you can totally just use your blending brush as well. Now I am going to take my blending brush and I just want to blend out, again holding further down my stick, blend out any harsh lines and blend it even a little bit more into my transition. Now this is really, really beautiful. I can't see if you can see. We're still learning. Now this is a really beautiful, really natural smoky, but if you want to, again, keep building and blending to get the desired depth and the desired smokiness that you want. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Okay, so as you can see, it's really beautiful, smoky, subtle, and blended. You cannot ever do too much blending. Just keep blending. If in doubt, blend. I love my blending brush. If you invest in any brush when it comes to your eyeshadow brushes, invest in a good blending brush. We are now going to take the lid shade. Now, depending on what you want to go for, you could totally just pop this matte shade in there if you wanted. But I think a touch of shimmer is just so fun. So I'm gonna be taking this Optimistic color. As you can tell, it is my favorite shade to use with almost every eyeshadow look I do. Seriously, it's amazing. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to pop this into my lid. So I'm gonna pop this in the center using my deluxe brush again, okay? You might wanna clean it off from that last color you used, okay? But I'm just gonna pop this into the lid area. And that's just gonna brighten everything up. Now this eyeshadow technique that I'm teaching you is brilliant for my hooded lid girls. It's really gonna help make your eyes look open and they're just really, really gonna pop. Popping it on the other side now. Just on that lid area. Now, if you really wanted that lid color to pop even more, wet your brush a little bit. I like to use setting spray. Dip it back into that color. And I mean, this is really gonna make it like really stand out and pop and pack that color in even more. Okay, so after you have your lid shade in, this is where I'm gonna go in and do my brows, my foundation, contouring, all that good stuff. And then we will come back and finish with liner and mascara. I just want to pause a second and point out that I'm taking my foundation brush and swooping it underneath my eyes and sharpening out that outer corner. Now, depending on what you want to do, you could do this with your concealer. I'm planning on just taking a little bit of a lighter shade of foundation underneath, a powder shade, and sharpening it even more, but totally up to you and what you want to do. So before I do any contouring or anything else to my face, let's go ahead and finish up these eyes. So now that I have my brows on, I'm going to take my Deluxe brush again, and depending on what look you want to go for, you can do shimmer or the matte shade. I'm going to go ahead and do shimmer because I love all the shimmer I can get, but I will say if you're doing shimmer, really make sure you are tight lining to your brows. And the reason being is because if you do too much underneath, it can really like age you, and we don't need that. So I'm just keeping it super tight, just a teeny little bit right underneath my brow bone area. I'm gonna go ahead and do it the same thing on the other side. Just underneath my brow for just a teensy bit of shimmer. And now I'm gonna do the same thing in my tear duct area. Again, you can totally use that matte shade depending, sorry, I just dropped stuff, depending on what look you're going for. But putting something in your tear duct is really gonna help open your eyes, especially if you have a hooded lid. Don't skip that step. It's really gonna help open up everything. This next step is optional. You could totally just keep it like this because we are gonna be using a third brush. I know, I said we're using 2, but we're actually using 3. I'm sorry. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take this brush and we're just gonna smoke out that lower lash line. This step again is optional. I just feel like it completes everything. Or you could just use liner. I love using the brown underneath though, eyeshadow. I think it really keeps it looking more of like a daytime look. Or if you really want to smoke it out, it can make a really just flawless evening look. Now dipping into that darker shade, Gullible, I'm keeping this just in my outer corner and into my water line just a little bit. You can really see the difference here. Okay, and then you can also take that shimmery, or no, we'll do the matte underneath. And again, that's just gonna help open everything up. Okay, so pretty. Now if you wanted to, you can go right ahead and add a little bit of a black pencil liner, which I'm gonna go ahead and do, but it's so beautiful with outliner as well. So again, this step is optional. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna just take this into my outer corner, and that's it. Just to add a little bit of definition into that outer corner of my eye. Kind of trying to keep it into my waterline, and that adds just a little bit more definition. Finishing up our eyes, last but definitely not least, we're gonna go ahead and put on some mascara. Now, I zoomed in a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. That's been the struggle of this video. Still learning. Thank you guys for bearing with me. But I'm gonna be taking my Unique 4D mascara. I love this stuff. It's one step fiber mascara, and it's insane. The level of lashes you get from this bad boy is kind of amazing. Okay, so now that I have my mascara on, I'm gonna quick finish up my face and I'll be right back. Okay everyone, so this is our finished look. It is so fun to be able to create these really gorgeous looks with just 4 basic eyeshadows and really easy steps. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. Make sure to comment down below if you enjoyed this look and if you're gonna try it at home. Also, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really, really helps me as I'm launching off this channel, and so it's really, really appreciated. Also, make sure to click the notification bell to on so that you're notified when I create another video. For now, I'll see you next time on the next Messy Makeup Mama video. Bye!